All right, let's dive into the incredible world of proteins. These are the master molecules, the tiny engines that run literally everything inside our bodies.
And this quote, straight from the textbook, really says it all. I mean, from fighting off viruses with antibodies to carrying oxygen in our blood, and even just giving our bodies actual structure, proteins are at the very center of everything. They are the ultimate biological multitaskers, no question about it.
You know, a great way to grasp their importance is to stop thinking of them as just chemicals. Instead, picture them as these tireless workers, these tiny, intricate biological machines that are operating 24/7 inside every single one of our cells to keep the whole show running.
So that begs the question, right? How are these incredibly complex machines actually built? Well, it all starts with something surprisingly simple, a fundamental chain.
So the very first step in building any protein is to create what's called its primary structure. The easiest way to picture it is like a string of beads. Each bead is an amino acid, and they're all linked together end to end in a very, very specific order.
And the link that holds this whole chain together? That's the peptide bond. It's a really strong bond that forms when a water molecule gets kicked out, and it locks those amino acid beads firmly into place. This chain, this sequence, is the absolute foundation for everything that comes next.
Okay, so we've got our chain of beads, but a chain by itself can't do much. The magic really happens when that chain folds up into a complex 3D shape. Then it can get to work. So let's look at what these folded marvels can do by exploring two amazing examples, enzymes and hemoglobin.
Let's start with enzymes. These proteins are, and I am not exaggerating, absolutely essential for you to be alive right now. They act as biological catalysts, speeding up reactions that would otherwise happen way too slowly to sustain life.
This graph illustrates perfectly how they work. You see, the more fuel, or what we call substrate, you give an enzyme, the faster it works. But, just like a car, it has a top speed. Eventually, the enzyme gets totally saturated and it hits its speed limit. That point is called Vmax, or its maximum velocity.
Now, what's really fascinating is that we can actually control these tiny enzyme machines. We can hit the brakes. This table shows how different types of inhibitors can slow them down. Some molecules compete for the same spot as the fuel, while others just change the enzyme shape. And this isn't just a cool science fact. This is the fundamental principle behind how tons of modern drugs work, from statins to antibiotics.
Okay, so from speeding up reactions, we now move to another vital protein job, transportation. Think of them as the body's delivery service, and there is no better example than hemoglobin. It's the whole reason our blood is red and our cells get the oxygen they're screaming for.
So at the very heart of hemoglobin, there's a special little non-protein part called a heme group. You can think of it as a custom-built carrying case just for oxygen. It's constructed from these smaller building blocks you see here, called pyrrole rings. 4 of them link up to create the bigger structure that's ready to hold the final, most important piece.
And here it is, the star of the show. A single iron atom sits right in the middle of that ring structure. That iron is what gives hemoglobin its amazing ability to grab onto oxygen molecules in your lungs and then, like a good delivery driver, drop them off in tissues all over your body.
So you might be thinking, okay, cool, chemistry, but why does all this matter? Well, it matters a lot. Because understanding protein structure and function isn't just some academic exercise. This knowledge has completely transformed modern medicine.
And this is really where the rubber meets the road. Just look at this list of applications. We're talking about the science behind super-sensitive diagnostic tests, targeted cancer drugs that act like guided missiles, our ability to understand genetic conditions, and even how we track cancer. It's all about the proteins.
The ELISA test is just a perfect example of this in action. It's an incredibly powerful diagnostic tool that cleverly uses the fact that antibody proteins are super specific about what they bind to. By linking an antibody to an enzyme, you can create a system that basically lights up, letting you detect even tiny amounts of a disease marker in a sample. And this is just brilliant. To make these things called monoclonal antibodies, scientists came up with an ingenious process. They essentially fuse a normal antibody-making cell with an immortal cancer cell. What you get is a hybridoma, a tiny factory that just endlessly pumps out one single, highly specific type of antibody. It's how we create those guided missiles to target things like cancer cells.
So when you get right down to it, proteins are where our genetic code becomes reality. They are the things that turn the blueprint of our DNA into the living, breathing, working machine that is, well, us. And as we get better and better at decoding these amazing structures, the real question isn't just about what we can understand, but what we'll be able to build next.